Listen, we all love Inuyasha, and some of us even like Yashahime, but there is a ton of anime out there, and I've been getting a lot of requests to cover some different series or to recommend other shows that you guys might enjoy. So that's what we'll be doing today. If you enjoy this kind of content and would like to see more recommendation videos in the future, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more. You can also check out the description for links to my Discord, Twitch, and Patreon if you're looking to support the channel a little bit more, or become a more active member of the community. Finally, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at AxelBeats, but with all of that being said, let's get into it. So some outlining rules. I'm going to be trying to keep this list to shorter series, things around 13 to 24 episodes if I can. So while I love One Piece and I am absolutely using this sentence in particular as a way to say go watch One Piece, I will not be saying that you should go watch One Piece in this video because of its length. But otherwise, I'd totally be saying to go watch One Piece. Also, we are going to avoid classics, so no Death Note, no Full Metal Alchemist, stuff like that's probably not going to come up here. Finally, we are going to give a quick overview of each series, some of my thoughts on it, and we're going to try to avoid spoilers unless they directly influence the plot, but even so, we'll try to keep it within the first episode or two. If you've seen any of these series, be sure to let me know in the comments down below, or if you're interested in any of these, tell me that as well. But with that said, let's get into the first series we're going to be talking about. Now, these aren't going to be in any particular order, but I am going to be honest and say that this is the one series that I am most excited for on this list right now, and it also is one of the two series in this list which are currently airing. Wonder Egg Priority is a gorgeous series in which we follow a young girl named Ai Ono on her journey to revive her friend who ended their own life. To do this, she'll need to buy Wonder Eggs, which she can break in her dreams, to hatch a teen who ended their own lives as well, in an attempt to help them take on the personifications of their own traumas head-on. This is a very cute and colorful series on the surface, but it quickly turns into a very deep and passionate look at the mental struggles people face on a daily basis. The way this show presents these themes and the level of depth in each episode really is amazing. Hell, just within the first 3 episodes we cover themes like suicide, bullying, eating disorders, putting people on pedestals, self-harm, abuse, and so much more. I cannot recommend this series enough, and if there is anything on this list I hope you check out, it's this one. And that's why I'm talking about it first. Second on this list, we have something that I think was pretty popular, and much like Wonder Egg, is another currently airing series. However, I also think that this is the most accessible series on this list. I truly believe that this is a series that anyone can enjoy and even get something from. The show follows an apocalyptic event which turns every human on the planet into stone. 3,700 years later, a boy named Senku revives himself, and using his knowledge of science, he aims to revive every single person around the world. However, one of the first people he revives, a man named Tsukasa, ends up standing in direct opposition to his ideology, saying if everyone was revived, the world would return to the dystopic status quo from before the event. It isn't long before an all-out battle between science and brute force erupts, and the ideologies of these two men begin to clash. This show is absolutely phenomenal. It has an antagonist with a ton of personality and charisma, a really lovable cast, and most importantly, science. Watching Senku use the primitive world around him to create something from nothing is amazing. And what's more, the science that we see in the show is viable in the real world 99% of the time, as the writers incorporated engineers and scientists to ensure as much realism as possible. Meaning, not only is this show super goddamn fun, but it's also educational, and I love that. Number 3 is kind of one that draws the line somewhere between the seriousness of Wonder Egg while having the comedic elements of One Punch Man, and that last bit makes a lot of sense considering they were both written by the same mangaka. Mob Psycho 100 tells the story of a young boy with godlike psychic powers which are tied to his emotions. However, as a result, he shells himself off so that he can avoid any situation of his powers running wild and hurting people, something which definitely affects his self-worth. All of this is also accompanied by a stress meter in the show, which dictates how far from blowing up he is. In contrast to himself, his teacher Reagan is a fraud who puts up the front of having fantastical abilities, and who is goddamn hilarious to balance out Mob's dry personality. Mob is a show that has moments of absolute excellence, nailing key themes of comedy, mental health, self-confidence, and accepting who you are, all while hosting some top-tier animation when it wants to go all out. And while the idea of a blank slate of a protagonist might seem a bit lackluster, it's done in a way which allows every aspect of the world around him to shine all that much brighter. And in moments where Mob allows himself to break loose, these scenes are just so powerful and impactful that it's unforgettable. Mob does a phenomenal job of balancing out all these things while allowing Mob to grow and understand that his emotions aren't something to be feared, and it can just really be a beautiful series when it wants to, and I cannot recommend it enough. Now the next two are some of my personal favorites on this list, and it isn't even a close competition. Made in Abyss easily jumped to one of my favorite animes of all time. It has one of the most beautiful soundtracks I've ever heard, and even replaced AxelBeats' OST as my editing music. And it's another one of those series which is extraordinarily cute on the outset, and then slowly, or I guess in this case pretty quickly, shifts into something horrifying. Welcome to Orth, a town with a massive hole in the center of it called the Abyss. The Abyss is filled to the brim with ancient treasures and horrific monsters, and while the actual depth of the Abyss is still unknown, we do know that the further you descend, the more and more dangerous the Abyss becomes. But that isn't all. Once you've descended, it becomes dangerous to even leave the Abyss. Coming up from the first layer might make you dizzy or nauseous, but from the third layer you'll start hallucinating or vomiting blood, and it only gets worse as you go further down. And that leads us to the main story, in which our 12-year-old protagonist Riko receives a letter from her mother saying that she's waiting for her at the bottom of the Abyss, and thus begins her journey through the Abyss, accompanied by only her new robot friend Reg and her limited training. This anime is one which is pretty solid from the get-go, but is the latter half that really shines. The last few episodes of the show bring it from something that is pretty okay to being an anime I will never forget, and trust me, there are definitely moments I would love to forget. Our fifth spot goes to a series I recently made a video on, and it's a series from last year called Sing Yesterday for Me. I have never experienced a show which shows such a real depiction of relationships in early adulthood. It's a story of 4 young adults who just haven't found their place in the world, each struggling with a different aspect of time. Some being stuck in the past, and others who are too consumed with a future that might never happen. Our main cast includes 4 characters. Our mysterious best girl who has a crow companion named Haru, Rikuo, a guy who graduated from university but never really got his life together and isn't motivated to move beyond his part-time job, Shinako, who is Rikuo's friend from college, who moved on and found a career but emotionally is stuck in the past and can't move beyond her trauma, and Ro, a boy who grew up in his brother's shadow and is trying to be seen as his own person in Shinako's eyes. It can be a little bit hard to pitch this show as there's nothing over the top or unbelievably exciting, but it is truly one of the most beautiful series I've ever had the pleasure of watching. Okay, we covered a lot of dark and serious shows, but let's get to some feel-good trash. New Game is just about the cutest anime I've ever seen. It follows the story of Alba, a young girl who's just out of school and who's trying to get her first job working at a video game development company. Alba basically has no idea what she's doing at first, and we watch her along her journey of learning how to do things for her new job, meeting her new coworkers, and trying to fit in. Something a lot of people can relate to. But this show is just a cute, feel-good show that has a hella wholesome story, and sometimes you just need that. So if you like cute anime girls, video games, cosplay, or comedic slice-of-life series, then this one is one you should definitely check out. Another cute one is Kaguyasama Love is War. The most common comparison you'll hear when you look into this series is that it is the rom-com Death Note. And honestly, I mean, yeah, kinda. The story typically follows 2 characters, being Shirogane, the school president, and Kaguya, his second-in-command. Both are head over heels for each other, however they believe that if they confess first, they'll be giving the other some kind of crazy advantage in their relationship or their dynamic. So they make these unbelievable schemes and plans to get the other person to confess how they feel. These can range from mundane games to elaborate plots that are totally nuts. Now there is one element that I left out so far, and that would be Chika. Chika is chaos embodied, and acts as a constant force of disruption to their plans. There are several other characters who also get involved, but these are the big ones early on. Each episode is cut into 2 10-minute fragments, which act as separate stories typically, but if you're looking for a cute rom-com with a lot of heart and some really memorable, lovable characters, this is one that you need to see. Now the next 2 are shows with incredibly strong starts, however they do dwindle a bit towards the ending. I'm convinced that regardless of the endings though, these are shows which just about everyone can enjoy. Firstly, we have Erased. This is a story of Satoru, a 29-year-old man with a mysterious ability to prevent disasters. Basically, if anything horrible is about to happen, Satoru will see a blue butterfly and will be warped back in time a few seconds or just far enough back that he can stop it from happening, often at his own expense. However, when his mother is murdered, rather than going back a few seconds like normal, he goes all the way back to when he was in 5th grade. With his memories of the time and his knowledge of the future, Satoru has to make changes to the past to save his mother in the present, and he'll be saving many others along the way as well. This is a great mystery anime that holds a really strong sense of tension all the way through, and if you enjoy mystery series, I think you'll totally dig this one. Now, there is a little known secret that I love AxelBeats, and along the same lane of AxelBeats we have Charlotte. Keeping the trend of great music, colorful characters, and emotional weight, Charlotte acts as a kind of spiritual successor to AxelBeats. In this world, teens develop what can only be considered as half-baked superpowers. For example, super speed, but you're unable to stop until you crash into something. Invisibility, but only to one person. Things like that. However, it seems like the government has taken an interest in these abilities, and as such, these ability users band together in a school until their abilities ultimately fade away after adolescence in hopes that they can live a normal life. The show has great comedy, some beautiful illustration, and some truly heartfelt moments. If I'm being honest, there's a bit of a rough patch towards the end, but honestly, I really do love this series, and I think it has a lot of emotional payoffs that more than make up for the 1 or 2 episode lull. It really does have a similar feeling to AxelBeats, with the same kind of humor, but maybe a little bit less cringy and more refined. Same timing for the low points in the series, and the emotional depth is just really, really strong. It's definitely a series you should check out if you did enjoy AxelBeats. And the last anime I'm going to recommend to all of you was really difficult to come up with if we're being honest. Because we're looking for something short and no classics, who am I kidding? One Piece. Go watch One Piece. But that was just a few anime that you guys should check out, and I think that just about anyone can enjoy. Let me know if you've seen any of these and what you think of them, or which ones you're interested in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and consider checking out the Discord for more. You can also follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/ExcellianYT, and as always, a big thank you to our patrons, the Dai Yokai Aikerochu, Jacob Wiley and Iffy Babes, our Yokai, Anel Cruz, Blood Wolfmon, Jamie Heck, Joker Rose, Lucifina Akuma, and Sayo Arundel, and our Hanyo, Anthony Hogan, Brunette Thrasher, Kasim Salim, Love the Kiwi, Michael Greco, Nega Kitty, Randy Moseyman, Samantha Olsen, Savage Camel, Simon Electric, and Kiwi Dog. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, remember to stay excellent.